Some of the topics that we're going to be talking about during this podcast may be triggering and it might make some listeners feel uncomfortable. Your discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of our Voice in the Voids podcast series, which is particularly focused around ending violence against women and girls. This podcast series is funded through the Belfast City Council Ending Violence Against Women and Girls strategy, and so delighted to be joined by our two previous guests, Deidre and Donna, who are going to have a conversation just a wee bit about their experience of Voice in the Void and the ripple effect that sharing your story has. And yeah, so maybe just start off by asking both of you maybe like to share a wee bit about that, sharing your story. What was it like, and what was it like actually, because you mentioned in your episode, Don, as well, hearing the personal stories, but I'd just be interested to hear a wee bit more about the experience. What is that experience like, or how would you describe it to other people?
It feels like you're drowning, right? And then all of a sudden someone lifts you and you're saved. That's what, to me, that's what it feels like. It's like I'm drowning, I can't breathe, but then it's like someone, and it's just, I can breathe, I can speak. I've noticed, do you know what I mean? I'm a person.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like for me. I don't know about you, but it felt like drowning to me.
The thing that keeps coming into my head is just a couple of wee phrases like, where once I was unseen, I am now seen. And I was unheard, and now I am heard.
That's really lovely.
Nice.
That's
nice.
lovely.
But what I think is so nice about both your experiences, Donna had met, only didn't know, you did only met through the Golden Seams and through you sharing your story on stage. So just curious to know what that was like, how Donna, like you mentioned Deidre specifically in your podcast, and her story resonated with you.
Yeah, I constantly, honestly. Obviously my daughter was there. My daughter does not show emotion. She doesn't. She's put a block up for my breakdown. But you, the both of us, we felt that we felt the experience that you were feeling. We could feel your pain, and to look at my daughter, and she was actually crying, and I just had to hold her hand, and she was like, "Mummy, she's amazing," and now she doesn't normally do that, but I straight away came out to you. And I was like, "Can I hug you?"
Yeah,
because I felt like I could feel her pain.
Yeah, but you said as well, not only just feeling the pain, but also the resilience and strength that Deidre had to dance on stage as well. It was
she really empowered me. You really did, honestly.
That's what
and
I
you
wanted.
empowered my daughter. And that's amazing. Like, you should be proud of that too.
Yeah.
She did approach me and I'd never met you before. I actually said hello to you on the way in, and I didn't know who you were because I'd never seen you before. And you actually said, "Can I hug you?" And see that for me as well, that was just so beautiful that somebody wanted to hug me, and I'm a very huggy person anyway. But and then when you told me about your daughter, and I just was blown away because yes, it I wanted it to have an impact in the audience, but I also, like what you said there, Donna, wanted it to show strength and resilience. But it's lovely the way you said there, I could feel your pain. With using real lived experience people and telling their true stories, you are going to feel their pain. And I wanted other people to see that there was pain. And through that pain, then obviously, then I'm empowered to tell my story. But it was great then that transferred over to the audience, because it was a painful situation to be in. And I also wanted people who were also suffering pain to know that they're not alone.
Yeah,
because quite a lot of people then did come up to me after you started a ripple effect. And were like, I know somebody who has went through the similar with you, and that, that really connected with me. And that's the whole reason why I want to tell my story is to...
had sort of been through similar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this woman is like unreal. Like, I even said to you after, I was like, that woman, like, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone's story was beautiful, amazing, touched the heart, but yours really touched us, like, because we've experienced. But you could tell you had that pain, but you're empowered now to put that pain aside to go, I'm me, look at me, look at me, I'm worthy, and I'm me, and you're amazing, and you're beautiful. And you should be proud of yourself.
And that's it, like the stories do touch on difficult, people who've been harmed, and the restorative storytelling is about helping people to restore or repair that harm. And it's about, highlighting.
To help me, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's about highlighting hope and recovery through people's experiences. And
I love that word, hope, yeah.
And I think like the title was Golden Seams. It's because like bringing in the kintsugi practice that we do in our work is, you know, like as difficult and as a challenge in our personal stories that we may have, it's like, you know, there is gold that can be found through difficult experiences.
I'd
Once
love to
people,
find a pot of gold, but you know, couple of pounds coins, please.
I know.
but it's, you know, it's helping people then to I'm not sent to you know, we're not sensationalizing trauma or people's traumatic stories. It's not what good restorative storytelling is about. It's about giving people, you know, maybe their voice, like you said, giving a voice to the voiceless as well. It's about, you know, helping people to maybe get control of the narrative, because once you're caught up in the criminal justice system, once something happens, the police get involved, then solicitors get involved, and then the court
Yeah, you
process.
just feel
The
lost.
public
And then your
prosecution.
your voice from that process comes further and further and further removed.
It
So
doesn't be listened. They don't listen.
they don't feel listened. But this restorative storytelling is about giving people that control back of their own narrative, of their own story, and how
And you took
they
that
want to share their
100%.
story.
You took that stage. Like if that was like Britain's Got Talent, you would have been no, but you know what I mean? That was the most.
You would have been the golden buzzer.
It's not even that. It's just that was the most empowering for me.
Yeah.
Like I felt every bit of it, and it was just. And then I was like, "Did I go over that lady and ask her, can I hug her? No, do I need
glad
that?
you did.
Do you know what I mean?" And I was like, "No, she needs to know." Like she, well, I was crying and all. Like we were crying. I was like, "You're amazing."
And how would you be then next year when we're doing Golden Seams on stage? Would you want to be? Would you picture yourself sharing your story? on
100%.
stage? Yeah.
Can I go on my jammies too?
I'd love to hear you.
My rat girl was in her jammies.
But I
What
think-
story do you want to hug yourself?
But I think with Voice in the Void as well, we got a lot of support when we were telling our story.
100%.
You didn't just throw us in at the deep end. And I think I would be delighted after you hearing our stories that you came back and everybody could hear your stories.
That's lovely, thank you.
That is important, and we mentioned that, and I think in
That means a lot to me, like that does
I'll
mean
be
a
there
lot.
to support you.
Oh, thank you. So
It's our wee Voice in the Void family now.
this is it.
Exactly.
We're
The family's
all there, we're
the family's
supportive.
getting bigger and
Yeah.
bigger. It's a community. That's what we're wanting to create.
Yeah.
Really, is the community of people supporting. And
And
it's,
that's what people need.
No one's judging each other. We're all there. Like I've sat and I've listened to other people's stories and I've tried to talk with them. I can help other people. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But we're all there with our own.
I think
But
in,
we're not
in
judging each other.
today's society, you really need that community and that sense of connection because it was missing there a lot for a while. And then, you know, there's an awful lot going out in the community at the minute, you know, with girls feeling like my daughter's 17 and she's a wee bit afraid now because of what's been happening, you know, with attacks on girls and things like that. And I think it's important for the younger generation to hear the story as well. Like my daughter heard, you know, my story, and it's important for them to realise that, you know, we're strong together and we know what's going on. And it's really important in today's society that we all just have that lovely sense of community, you know,
And
which
we
is what
need to
Voice in the
be
Void is about.
Strength for our daughters. Like I get that because like my kids obviously what they've witnessed, you know, busted open face, you know, slices, cuts, bruises. They've been through it, but they haven't. You know, they've been through it, but they haven't. But it's like it still affects them.
Of course.
You know, they still have trauma, and they still get triggered. And then, like I've been talking to my kids recently about, you know, everything that's been going on, and I said, like, do you know what? Only for here, like Voice in the Void, I wouldn't have the strength. I genuinely wouldn't. That's where I got my strength from.
Brilliant.
But it's like I said to my kids, see, no matter what we've went through, no matter how many busted bruises, whatever, it doesn't matter. Because you know what? I'm strong, I'm me, and I'm back. And I'm not vulnerable. And do you know what I mean? Anymore.
Yeah.
Not taking anybody's shit.
Yeah.
but I think, like what you're saying, both you are saying is incredibly important. You know, like the sense of community that we're creating, but also I'm seeing people then listening to the stories and experiences, changing perspectives. I know you mentioned specifically about, you know, challenging maybe people who had racist views before here and those that are sinking section
Yeah,
here in
my
Belfast,
daughter,
but then taking it a step further and challenging them harmful narratives in their own communities and homes.
Yeah.
And that is the ripple effect, the societal change
Yeah.
that we're looking to
But see,
really
like today,
create.
even, you know, my taxi driver was a Polish man and he lives close to me and I was talking to him and he's like, you know, he feels not unsafe. And I mean, I said to him, why? Like, this is not right. This man's been here 20 years. He's working. What's the issue? Like, what? That doesn't matter what you are, who you are, it doesn't matter. Let people live their life.
Yeah, and I think that storytelling helps humanize and helps
Yeah.
people really connect at
I
that
always get
really
someone's fucking story.
human level. Like we all have stories, you know.
I have
And
160 or something.
you're coming back
I
to
need that.
your own podcast series after.
I will,
Maybe
happy days.
just would like to maybe take this opportunity to thank you both for coming back and to share a wee bit about your experience and hearing each other's stories. Is there any message that, like, this theme is about ending violence against women and girls? Is there anything you think as a society we need to do, or how we could, because we all have a power to create change ourselves individually. It doesn't have to come from the top. It can start from the bottom up.
I think more support as well would help, teaching girls young that is wrong to be treated like that. But I suppose men too, it's wrong. For any domestic violence is wrong. But it's like I said earlier, they need to get the strength. But it's not, there's not enough support. There's not. There needs to be more support, and the court system needs to stop letting us down. And I've said that earlier too in my own podcast.
To speak up as well, because if I could talk to my younger self, I don't know why I waited so long. I could have left, and I know that sounds like it was easy. It wasn't easy. It was definitely not easy.
It's definitely
but
not.
I was like so judgmental of myself. We are our worst judges, so to speak. And I can't ask for help. Nobody will understand.
No one will listen. No one will believe me.
Yeah, but looking back at it, I genuinely think that like anybody out there, if you have a trusted friend and you're going through that, and also one thing that really struck with me whenever I was telling my story as well is the tiny wee things that I didn't know was actually considered violence, like isolation from friends. Why are you going out with them again? And one of the things as well was why are you wearing that lipstick? I wouldn't have considered that to be anything at the time, but it's control. And I actually can see it in young girls at the minute who maybe have boyfriends. I know some in particular, and my daughter's now very astute, and she's very aware that some of her friends might actually be in quite controlling relationships. And it's about knowledge is power, and maybe getting our stories out. Maybe there is a young teenage girl who's sitting listening going, actually, I really need to talk to somebody about this, because it doesn't have to be when you're in a secure relationship. It can be when you're in the infancy of a relationship, when you're in your very first relationship. You could even be as young as 15, who knows? And it's just about having that information, having that knowledge. And if you're ever in doubt, do go and do speak to somebody. Now, I was very unfortunate. Clare's Law did not exist whenever I was dating my ex. Now you can go, or your friends can go, even if there's a friend out there, you can go and ask, you see such and such a person, they look it up. There's very limited detail that they can tell you, but I did it recently just to see what it was all about, and they say this man is considered a danger to society. And then that proves that there's maybe a past track history. But there are people that will listen to you, and you're not alone, which is why I wanted to publicly display my story to tell people you are not alone. Please know that. Please know that.
But that's the thing. It's the control. You're saying about the lipstick and stuff. It's like I had to wear a certain trainer. I wasn't allowed to wear such and such. I had to wear this. What he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like I was always told what to wear. Like and if I was say you're at the shop and you're talking, I talk to everyone. And people just come to me and talk to me and say, why are you talking to them? Why are you talking to them? You want to go with him? What?
I think though that like everything that you just said, the courage it has to be so open, honest and vulnerable, and to like leave with that message of hope, like you are.
You have given me more, 100%.
But it's each other. No, it's not just it's not voice in the void. It's what you do as a community, and the community that we're creating and supporting each other. Like we say, like the metaphor kintsugi, keep going back to kintsugi. It's the healing comes through connection, and as a society, kind of feels like it is a wee bit of a fractured society at the minute. We need more opportunities for people to come together to learn from each other's experiences and realize that we're all the same. We're all humans, and we need more spaces for people to come and connect. And just want to finish by thanking you both for coming and speaking up and trying to help inspire other people, women and men, and anyone in an unhealthy relationship to realise they're not alone, and to speak up and to
thank you.
To look for help.
We want to thank you because, I don't know if you want to thank me right now.
I just said thank you.
But no, you are, that you and the team, I wouldn't have had the courage for doing the courts and stuff at the minute. You have given me that, you have given me that. I can do this.
Amazing.
I can do it.
And we'll see Donna next year when we're doing
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'll be going viral.
So that's
hopefully.
That's
share, comment.
We'll be seeing Donna and I'm sure Deidre again. Hopefully in Golden Scenes we'll get that again. But
amazing! I think you should do a full-on play.
A full-on one,
We should go on tour.
We should definitely go on tour. Take it outside Belfast.
I just love it. And
I think more people.
VTV on tour.
Start our own group. Our own politician group.
Yeah, I know. And
Dealing with politicians.
I have to wrap things up now as well, because I know Deidre
Yeah.
has to catch a taxi now as well
Yeah.
to
Thank
get
you
herself
so
from school.
much,
But listen,
Rory.
Thanks for the
thank
opportunity.
you. Thank you, and thanks.
Thanks, Luke, for
Yeah.
setting it all up.
Thank you.
So again, if you are listening and you're maybe in an unhealthy relationship, maybe listen to what's being shared here. We know it's not easy, but
Yeah.
maybe reach out and realize you're not alone, and things can get better and you can get help.
Just get
So
that strength and get up and go.
thank you.
All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. Some of the issues that we spoke about today, particularly around being in abusive relationships, may have brought up some feelings that are uncomfortable or that are worrying. And if you or someone you know is in a relationship that you feel like is harmful, there are services across Northern Ireland that can support you. So Women's Aid have many different bases all across Northern Ireland, and I encourage you to give them a Google, look where your local Women's Aid base is and reach out to them. There's Start 360 and also Nexus Northern Ireland, which offers counselling and therapeutic services to people who have been in abusive or toxic relationships. Thank you.